very quickly, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has said this Senate deal, the outlines of it have leaked out, is dead on arrival. Do you agree with what he's saying, given the fact that it does not limit Biden's ability to parole people into the country, which could be obviously still in the millions?
Look, I've been an active Republican my whole life. Every once in a while, part of the party becomes suicidally stupid. That bill is suicidally stupid. It makes no sense. I will oppose it every way I can, and I hope that every Republican activist in the country will oppose it. It is a total sellout, and it's just dumb. I mean, it's like having an absolute winning hand and saying, please, can I just lay these down and lose the game anyway? I mean, all they got to do is say, we want to stop everything now. Not
Period.
this. I mean, when I first heard that it has 5,000 people a day gets to come in, and that doesn't count as illegal immigration, I thought, these guys have got, I don't know what they're drinking, but it's not good.
That was brilliantly said, and former Speaker Gingrich is hardly alone. There is a mass uprising against this utterly insane border bill, and guess what? It's an uprising that's emboldening patriots to defeat the bill. It's causing sniveling, cowardly rhinos to hide under their desk, and you are the ultimate reason for it. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. If you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, as many of you know, I am a huge advocate for gold. The financial wizard Peter Schiff has often said, if you want to protect your savings, you can't do better than investing in gold. And that advice became all the more significant in light of President Trump's dire warning about our nation and the very thing we depend upon to live, which is the U.S. dollar. Trump is predicting that we may indeed lose our status as the world's reserve currency in the not-so-distant future, which could adversely impact your retirement savings and your quality of life. So that's why you should take Trump's warning seriously by clicking on that link below or go to turleywarning.com right now, because there you'll see what thousands of patriots are doing to help protect their savings before it's too late. Plus, when you click on that link, you even see how to get up to $10,000 in free silver to protect your savings. But don't wait. We may not have long if Trump's prophecy comes true. So hurry up, click on that link, or go to turleywarning.com right now. The Senate yesterday, Sunday, officially released the border bill we've been hearing so much about. And to call it an unmitigated disaster would be an understatement. For Republicans, as you heard Gingrich characterize it, it is suicidally stupid, as it would be, of course, for the nation as a whole. Astonishingly, the bill allows, forget this, 8,500 illegal migrants to cross the border every single day. There is no border shutdown. The bill allows for thousands upon thousands of illegal migrants to cross the border every single day. And it's only when that number of illegal border crossings surpasses 8,500 that the border could get shut down. As it turns out, the actual border shutdown doesn't get activated unless Mayorkas, the feckless Secretary of Homeland Security, says so. It's a provision buried deep inside the bill. If you're interested in reading more, America First Legal did a brilliant job of breaking down the massive bill's provisions, but there is no automatic trigger to shutting down the border. It's the Homeland Security Secretary's sole discretion, which he already has. Biden and Mayorkas could shut the border down completely right now, right this very second. But what the Senate bill does is it formalizes Mayorkas' priority in doing so, and that's only if he wants to. And then the real insult in all of this, as if that wasn't bad enough, not only do we have 8,500 illegal migrants allowed daily, not only is shutting down the border completely at the arbitrary whim of a corrupt Secretary of Homeland Security, but as former Trump advisor Stephen Miller points out, perhaps the single most devastating provision in the bill is that it gives this utterly feckless Mayorkas and his asylum officers the unilateral authority to directly grant asylum to illegals without congressional approval. You heard that correctly. The bill purportedly would give ultra-leftist asylum officers direct authority to unilaterally grant amnesty to these illegal migrants. Simply put, the bill is worse than any of us could have imagined. And patriots across the nation have freaking had it. They've absolutely had it with a feckless, cowardly, corrupt GOP that never freaking fails to betray their own voters. And patriots have just had it. President Trump took to Truth Social and just blew the bill apart. Quote, only a fool or radical left Democrat would vote for this horrendous border bill, which only gives shutdown authority after 5,000 encounters a day, when we already have the right to close the border now, which must be done. This bill is a great gift to the Democrats and a death wish for the Republican Party. It takes the horrible job the Democrats have done on immigration and the border. It absolves them and puts it all squarely on the shoulders of Republicans. Don't be stupid. Julio Rosas, a reporter who's been covering the southern border for years now, he sent out a brilliant tweet. Quote, I've been covering the border since 2019, and this border bill is exactly what's wrong with how D.C. tries to, quote, fix a problem, spends more money, gives more power to the feds, and doesn't actually solve the problem. Again, a bill from Congress is not needed to solve the acute problem at the border. Biden just needs to undo the executive orders he signed on day one. The historic influx of illegal immigrants was started by the policies his administration has recklessly pursued. Bullseye. This crisis is 100% of Biden's own making, and he could fix it literally within the next 60 minutes. But he refuses to do so. And Senate Republicans, or certain Republicans, are playing right along with that corrupt charade. For example, just in case you were wondering where Bird Brain stood on all of this.
Are you saying that the former president is playing politics with the border?
Well, I think nobody should be playing politics with the border. First of all, he shouldn't be getting involved telling Republicans that wait until the election because we don't want this to help Biden win. We can't wait one more day. You have millions of people who've come to that border. They are not being vetted. America's acting like it's September 10th. We better remember what September 12th felt like because it only takes one. This is not a time to play politics.
Is he?
What I do think is they need to get something out. Of course he is. He's absolutely playing politics by telling them not to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is just getting painful to watch, gang. I mean, Hillary Haley is just, she's in total, complete self-destruction mode at this point. She's burning every single Republican bridge she has, except, of course, with the very donors that gave us this bill in the first place. Fortunately, the massive patriot uprising we're seeing is stealing the resolve of a number of Senate Republicans. There are already a dozen Republicans who are standing up and working on killing this ridiculous bill through a Senate filibuster. It, of course, needs 60 votes to pass. And as far as the House is concerned, were it to pass, Speaker Mike Johnson has already declared the bill DOA, dead on arrival. I mean, the Republican House won't even bring it up for a vote. They won't even consider it, a reality. As for the Oklahoma Republican senator who co-sponsored the bill, James Lankford, he's in the process of being completely isolated. He's literally lost all political support at this point. The Oklahoma Republican Party has unanimously approved a resolution condemning and censuring Lankford for his utterly ridiculous, farcical bill. The Oklahoma GOP has announced that they are completely severing any and all ties with Lankford, so much so that the calls for him to resign are growing by the day. Molly Hemingway of the Federalist is yet the latest calling for Lankford's resignation. He is, for all practical purposes, dead to the Republican Party, just like Mitt Romney, just like Liz Cheney, just like Adam Kinzinger. He needs to just go join them, those rhinos, and publicly distance himself from the Republican Party as much as the party is currently distancing itself from him. But speaking of distance, Scott Adams had a good tweet. At least the Senate stopped pretending to be on the side of America. That's clarifying. Yeah, it's not just clarifying. It's actually spot on. That's so key. What Lankford and Mitch McConnell demonstrated, once again, for all to see, is how much the Senate, which is effectively our own House of Lords, how much they demonstrate yet again how removed they are culturally from the heart of America, the very America that votes for these guys in the first place. James Lankford comes from one of the reddest states in the Union, Oklahoma. Some would even call it the reddest state. It has a Republican governor. It has a Republican lieutenant governor. It has a Republican attorney general. It has a Republican supermajority in their state legislature. And yet, Langford simply could not possibly be farther removed culturally from the Republican voter. It goes far beyond the fact that Langford is purportedly worth upwards of $16 million, a wealth he apparently accumulated as a sitting senator. It's the fact that the globalist world to which Langford belongs as a senator in D.C., the very world that so lavishly enriched him, it's precisely that globalist elitist world that so utterly detests and disdains his own Republican constituency. These megadonor globalist elites write the checks that dictate Langford's policies. Langford governs on behalf of the interests and concerns of the wealthiest elite. And then Langford looks to the legacy media to give him the much-needed cover and support whenever he does so, precisely because the legacy media are comprised of corporations that are ultimately owned and operated precisely by that mega-donor globalist elite. You see how it works? Unfortunate for Langford and Mittens Romney and Liz Cheney and bird-brain Hillary Haley, the jig is up. The deception that they've been perpetuating, trying to convince us that they're shilling for the wealthiest few is somehow in our own democratic interest, has been exposed. The GOP had better clean house and get rid of this rhino filth soon. The Trump train is driving full speed ahead. It would be an absolute shame to have to leave a corrupt and cowardly Republican Party behind. But first, gang, as many of you know, we have unfortunately been completely and totally demonetized, which is putting our daily communication with one another at risk like never before. Now, we are actively working on getting this resolved, but as things stand, this channel has, without any warning, been totally and completely demonetized. And as Elon Musk said so powerfully last week, the whole point of these demonetization efforts is to deliberately try to make us patriots feel like we're all alone. They want to sever our relationship with each other and force on us a kind of digital solitary confinement so as to demoralize us and discourage us like never before. But to their horror, it's not working. Over this past week, you have carried this channel like never before. We've had more people than ever make the courageous decision to bypass big tech and join our Insiders Club. We have direct access to one another that can never be interrupted by big tech overlords. Over the last 7 days, we've seen literally thousands of you come to our rescue. And you've done it in two ways. You've signed up for our free newsletter and you've officially joined our Insiders Club. Those two acts alone are enough for us to collectively stand together and never, ever have our relationship severed. So I'm inviting the rest of you to do the same today, just by clicking on that link below and signing up for our newsletter and joining our Insiders Club. You are guaranteeing that there is nothing that big tech can do to get between us and make us feel like we're in a digital solitary confinement. It's as simple as clicking on the link below right now and opting into our free email newsletter. And once you do that, you can financially support us by joining our Insiders Club. Gang, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you enough for your support during a time like this. You are my heroes, and it will be my mission to express my appreciation for every single one of you each and every week.